Welcome to the Point Noted podcast with your host, Johnny B, and co-host who shows up whenever he wants to, former NFL player, Rashad Barksdale. It's raw, unfiltered, and no topic is off limit. We talk sports, entertainment, culture, and a whole lot of random shit. Let's get to the point.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Point Noted podcast, and I'm your host, Johnny B. Yes, I am running solo today. Everyone has really just decided me for the day, but that's all right. It just means it's going to be more fun and definitely quicker to the point. Today, we have a special guest in the house. We have Ihssane Leckey, and she's from Massachusetts, and she's running for Congress. I'm pretty sure I probably just messed up her name, but she will go ahead and correct me. Hey, Ihssane, how you doing?
Hey, this is Ihssane. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. So the E in your first name is actually silent.
Yeah, it's silent. You can thank the French for doing that to my name.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're not right about it. Just looking at it, do look a little more French to it. But my French is a little bit kind of poor. So, I probably would have failed that if I had tried all over again too. So. But I understand you do have a Moroccan background?
Yeah, I grew up in Morocco.
Nice.
I came here when I was 20 years old.
So how did your parents come up with a French name?
Well, it is not a French name. It's an Arabic name.
Right.
Its meaning is to do good by people.
Do good by people. That's nice.
Yeah, do good by the people. And because Morocco used to be, French protectorate, everything is written in French as well as Arabic. Okay. And so my name, because I am female, they added the E in the end. But it's silent.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's silent. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. So you are running for Congress. Can you tell the people who you are, why you're running?
Well, I am, running for Congress here in Massachusetts, 4th Congressional District, from Fall River to Brookline. And I'm running because the working class in my district has been underrepresented for generations. We have, a few towns that are some of the wealthiest towns in the country. And the remainder of the district is packed with working class folks who have seen corporations come in, promise a lot, and deliver nothing, leaving them, jobless and homeless. And with no social safety net. So as one who actually, have survived poverty in America as an immigrant, and as someone who has fought for the American people as a Wall Street regulator, making sure that Wall Street and the big banks don't gamble with our economy, I feel the moral obligation to run to serve the most vulnerable in our district.
Right. And the people without a voice always need a voice. It's just a good thing that you're stepping up to the plate, looking out for the little ones.
Well, representing the people at 100% is a big obligation, and it's not just to be taken lightly. We know that those who take corporate PAC money, those who take corporate lobbyist money, are going to be beholden to the interests of those corporations.
Absolutely.
And we see, we saw that in 2008 when the economy crashed and blank checks were written to Wall Street. And we see that again now when, we're in the midst of this pandemic and, people have lost their jobs and their livelihood. And our government is handing out blank checks to Wall Street again, not even conditioning those bailouts on keeping people on the job and keeping them paid. And so that's, that is something that people are very aware of. People know that their vote has been sold for generations to these corporate heads, and they've had enough of that, and we've had enough of that.
Right. And I always go with, can we, and this might be a little, pessimistic to say, but can we get rid of corporate money?
Well, we can if we replace politicians who are willing to take money from those interests with those who will not take money from those special interests. And then we can all vote to, to repeal Citizens United,
Right.
and to make sure that, that we don't have politicians who take money from that lobby.
Right.
I think electoral is super important in that process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm rooting for that. As a regular citizen, I always pay attention to these things. My concern is always, man, it's like that innocent kid that, go to a new neighborhood or start making new friends. For how long can you say no? And I'm not saying all of them are, but I know some are definitely strong enough to keep those super money at bay. And hopefully, you get in there, you'll be one of those that we can count on 10 years from now and say, hey.
Well, look, I'm a Wall Street regulator. I have chosen to fight for the people and not the corporate interests.
Very true.
And in that work, especially when, especially when Trump took office and him and his administration started deregulating right away, shredding my job and making a lot of people even lose their jobs, who
Right.
were fighting on behalf of the working class. In that, when I saw deregulation, I saw some of my colleagues who chose to cross the street literally and go work for the big banks that we were regulating, tripling their salaries.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's, I chose not to do that. I chose to continue to fight for us, continue to, hopefully pour some sense into our Congress, into our government, as a future Congresswoman. When I'll be there, we are going to have to go through another Wall Street reform. And we're going to need people who come with that expertise to draw the new lines and to make sure that we're protecting the working class.
I read somewhere that 27%, I believe, of mothers go back to work within 10 days. That's awful. That is terrible. And I'll let you speak on that. But when I read that, and I'm a guy, so obviously I never had a baby. But just the idea and understanding the whole process of childbirth and the PTSD that come after that, and just so many more health risks and issues that come after that. To have a woman go back to work after 10 days is truly terrible. But I know you're proposing a 36-week paid leave for new parents. Can you speak on that?
I mean, it's really heart-wrenching from both perspectives, the mom and the child, and the partner, if there is a partner. It's really, I remember when I had my daughter Nora, and I was lucky that I didn't have to go to work right away. But when I went to work, there is something that they don't tell you about. It's called separation anxiety. And that, it just shreds your heart to pieces. You and the child, and the daycare or nanny, if you have any, and your partner who's also, in all of that. And you see, you feel like you don't actually have a choice. It's not like if you, what I'm proposing is, look, you're a parent. You should be able to have a choice to make a decision for yourself and for your child. If your decision is that you want to go back to work, well, you should be able to afford childcare, right? If your decision is that you want to go back to school, you should be able to both afford childcare and afford to go to, for example, a state college with no tuition. And if you choose to,
that'd be great.
To stay and be the caretaker full time for your child for whatever, however long you want, then you should also have that choice. These choices shouldn't be based on how much money you have. That's what we have in our country right now, is that people who have the resources, they get to choose whatever they want. They want to stay at home. They want to go to work. They want to go to school. They want to do whatever they want. And people who don't, as you said, they're forced into going back to work within that first 10 days. And I can't imagine, can't imagine how that is for mothers. I mean, giving birth is not, it's not a trivial experience. It's a life experience that needs time for bonding, for healing, for loving, for growing together. And that's something that we need to honor in our society. I think that just like, the places we work for demand so much of us, We have the right to demand so much of them. We
Mm-hmm.
have the right to demand parental leave for those who give birth and for those who adopt or foster. And parenting should be
Right.
taken more seriously in our country. It is not an easy task. And as you know, during this COVID-19 crisis, people are forced to homeschool. They are forced to homeschool.
Right.
And we need to
Right.
understand that people need mental health care to be able to get through this together. This is really
Right.
a very difficult time for parents and for children, because those who are able to work from home full time, they're being demanded to work from home full time while their toddler is crawling around and they're worried the toddler is going to pick up something, right? Or while they're nursing, or while they're homeschooling their children. Their children are being, there are a lot of demands of them to take exams and tests, and a lot of focus on academics and less focus on emotional growth during this pandemic. And so the parents are bearing the brunt of
Right.
that. And there's a lot of pressure at the home space. And for those who are unable to work from home and those who have to actually go to work, they're leaving their children with no childcare. I know people in my district
Right.
who are going to work and leaving the 11-year-old take care of the 4-year-old. We need to, and this is very alarming, because as we get out of this pandemic, we need to think very deeply into what we're coming out with and how are we going to address these issues in the mental health care system, and in the support that we need to provide to our children and to the parents.
Right. And for the parents leaving their 11-year-old at home to take care of the little ones, that extra $2,000 a month that you mentioned, that would have come in handy. That would have been very useful to that parent.
Yeah,
would
I
not.
mean, it would absolutely help. I think if people, don't have to, there are people who have lost the job because they actually had to make that decision, whether they're going to leave their children
Right.
alone at home, or they're going to actually go to work to make sure the rent is paid, or the bill or the utilities are paid. And many parents couldn't make that decision. They had to stay at home with the children. I was talking to one of them yesterday who, her husband was working at two jobs, a job at the airport and a job at Uber. And she was starting her community college education. She came here as a nurse and was denied to work as a nurse. And she's going to need to start everything again. And so at that time, when she was preparing for years of education, her husband is working two jobs. They have two beautiful little children. COVID-19 hit and her husband lost both his jobs. And so what does that mean for them, right? They're at home with the kids, sure, but they don't have an income source. They don't. And the one-time $1,200 check isn't going to pay for the diapers for the children, isn't going to pay for the food and for the utilities and for all life expenses for a family of four, right?
Right.
Unfortunately. And so,
Unfortunately,
when you
yeah.
ask me, why is it that our government is blind in their eyes? Because our government has gotten way too comfortable with the injustice that they inflicted on the people in America. And our government needs to be replaced by people who will not only dedicate their lives to serving the people, but who have actually shown a track record, who have been bit by the system, right? Who know what it's like to not have a roof on your head, or be denied healthcare, or be denied your food, when you have to worry, whether you're gonna find the little pack of ramen noodles in your cabinet that night or not. That's when you live through those conditions, you understand what millions of Americans go through every day. And when you make it through, you have the responsibility to
Right.
go back and fight for them, to make sure that nobody becomes or has to survive poverty like you did in your life. And that's the government we need to have. That's the fight that we're fighting as a people,
Right.
electing people.
Absolutely. That's why we got to get candidates like you down there to start making those changes. All the new candidates, I'm excited about it. All across the country. I love the idea of new bloods and fresh bloods, just new voices. And like you said, those in Washington have gotten super comfortable, too comfortable. There's no fear for consequences because they just keep winning and winning, and you just keep getting more power. But to go back to COVID-19 and what it's doing to families, I know you mentioned having a 9-year-old girl, and with your campaign going on, how are you being able to handle all of that work that comes with, educating her in the house since she can't go to school, and then keeping her active and having activities to do? I see kids in my neighborhood, they are going crazy, climbing on trees, just coming up with ideas of how to stay entertained. And I know it's tough on kids all over the country. My sister called me and she said, I need ideas. What can I do with the kids? And I said, throw them in the pool, let them go play. Let them go play in the water for an
There's
hour or
no pool
something.
where
Let
I
them
am.
run. So how are you
But
coping?
there's
How are you doing?
definitely, well, I'm very
Oh,
blessed. I
man.
feel like my investment has paid off. I think I've done a pretty good job in raising my kid,
Okay.
loving books and stories. And so she's been a
Okay.
bookworm. I'm trying
That's
to,
good.
well, I was a math major, so I wanted to, play some math with her. I like to call it playing math, not doing math, because it's so playful and fun. And so, I got her
Okay.
like a little
Okay.
blackboard and I started writing
I
some
like
math
that.
stuff 2 days ago. And she goes, no, 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 no. You cannot write math on this board, and aloud and aloud. And I was like, wait, wait, wait. I'm not writing math. This is not math. I'm just trying to, I have a little puzzle for you. And I wanted to see if you're going to be able to do it. So I'm trying to,
Okay.
bring new ways to, because I know she loves it. I know she loves the challenge. But if you label it math, she would hate
Mm,
it. She's just like, don't tell me anything about it. So I'm trying
right.
to, find new ways to trick her into it. And she did really great. She was like, okay, yeah, I can think through this a little
That's good.
problem. But that's what I do. My campaign takes up a lot of my time, and it's just the way moms do a lot of things at the same time. Like that's what I've learned from, you probably have
Right.
seen moms carrying like 10 things at the same time effectively. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
my mother did
yeah,
it, so
you
absolutely.
just learn how to multitask, and
She's still
you
doing
have
it.
to do all the
So,
things really well. But I also pace myself as
right.
much as I can. I know that not everything has to be done at the same time, and that's what they don't tell you when you're gonna have children. Everybody wants to see everything being
Right.
perfect, but you know what? If we go for perfect, we will become helicopter parents, and our children will not learn how to fail, how to make mistakes. And
Mm,
so I try to just let the kid be a kid,
right.
right? Make sure that she's safe, and that's about it. Like, let
Right.
her play, let her explore herself, let her tell me what
Right.
she enjoys, and that is super
Right.
helpful. So I'm able to, get my
Mm,
work done and check on her every now and then. And I have, my husband is here, and my mom is also here, so I feel pretty good
right.
about it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Because I know parents are struggling all over the country with it. This is so new. I coach soccer, so I have U16 players. I have U11 kids that I coach, and I get from the parents all the time, Coach, what can we do? They don't want to play no more. They don't want to train. Then I'm going crazy. They kids me soccer, and I said, look, just offer some kind of reward to make them train, because at this point they're not used to this at all. The kids are not used to having this much free time, and not knowing what to do. So I can only imagine how hard it is all over the country for parents that not used to having this much time with the kids,
Oh, I love
and
soccer.
having to figure out a way to make this work on the go. Oh, do you? Oh, that's great.
Uh,
That's awesome. What team do
I
you root
have to
for?
be careful. Yeah, I don't
Be
want to.
careful
Well,
now.
definitely the U.S. women's team. So, but for those
Absolutely.
who
Absolutely. There you
are
go.
Moroccan
There
American, I
you go.
know I'm gonna get divisive here. I really like the Barca, FC Barcelona. Yeah, I'm not a Real Madrid person, so
Barcelona.
I'm being
Okay. I
divisive
mean, I
here.
think, yeah, I think that, yeah. Well, what I think the same thing would have been, you're just a La Liga fan. I think they would have probably jumped on board with that. But look, there's not a lot of Real Madrid fan, so I think you in a good place there. He's Real Madrid fans, fair weather fans. So so I think you got the right team. But yeah, you're right. I'm a big soccer guy. I've been playing and coaching all my life as well, so, and I truly enjoyed. I'm so excited. It's actually back on TV, even though it's not all the leagues, but the German league is back, and it's kind of interesting to see the whole social distancing thing working. Right, the players can't hug each other, but they can tackle each other and fist pump each other. But they got. I mean, you playing sports, you were involved. So for me, when I watch it, I'm like, what are they doing? Why can you not hug your teammate, but you're out here tackling and touching each other? But I think it's for the appearance, right? It has to be just to look good and kind of get people comfortable and feel safe
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we can be out here and not worry too much about COVID. So I don't want to take too much of your time. Definitely enjoying the conversation. But I know you have a lot of these issues that you're running on, and I went through them, and they're really just great stuff. That so just to save us time, and I mean, I have all day, but I think we have to obviously respect your time here. So I'll let you go ahead and just talk more on some of
Yeah,
these issues and
I think the issues
why
that
these are
you
important to you.
just listed from my website are super important, and they're all really rooted in justice for all and being a country that promotes peace within and outside.
Mm,
Um, and I think that I am a
okay.
true believer in the power of the people in this country, and we've seen it over the history and over generations. I
Right.
think we have very, very resilient um, working class and middle class that wants justice and wants to close the income disparity and the pay gap in our country. And I think
Mm,
healthcare is where the baseline is. We're the only major country on earth that does not have universal healthcare. And for those who have doubt on what Medicare for All is,
yeah.
uh, I would say there's a lot of resources online, but I'll tell you, Medicare for All is the expanded and improved Medicare. It includes vision and hearing and dental and mental health
Mm,
and everything in between. It does not change your doctor for you. You can still have the same doctor that you see. It actually negotiates the drug prices for you. You can still go to the same corner pharmacy and get what you need. So you're
okay.
the only thing that will change in your life with
Mm,
Medicare for All is that your copays will go away, your premiums will go away, and you will actually have more money than
it's
you
good.
used to in the health insurance system. And that's what Medicare for All means.
Mm,
It's the same as when you say universal single payer healthcare. And I want people to know that, because I want people to know that
right.
when there is a term that scares them away, that's when they need to actually go ahead and look into it. Because every time we come up with some new term, the pharma and healthcare corporations are going to look at ways to scare people from it, right? Absolutely. And so we have to be smarter than that. We have to be smarter than that. We can't play
Absolutely.
with them. Oh, just because no, people are too scared of this term, we're not going to say it. No, we're actually going to go ahead and do and campaign for it, and we're going to explain to them and answer every question they have on what it actually is. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. I think that the biggest threat we face is the climate emergency. What's happening with COVID has showed us our connectedness here in our country and with the globe. And that's an opportunity for us to reflect on the climate emergency and how connected we are when it comes to climate, right? That we have to actually work collaboratively here in our country and across the world to get us out of fossil fuels by 2030, and to create millions of jobs in America, green, good jobs that will get people back to work, rebuild our infrastructure and transportation, rebuild our housing, especially affordable housing, and get us into a 21st century economy that is resilient to withstand future shocks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. I think that clarification. So we all just love beautiful music. If it sounds good most of the time, we will just move to it, enjoy it, relax to it. So what are you listening to? Like, what's on your playlist
that I
right now?
wanted to tell you about, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember. I do like Lana Del Rey. I listen to her a lot. I think
It's okay.
I think a lot of her songs are
Okay.
kind of like
Lana
bring
Del
that
Rey.
resilience of the woman who has faced a lot of marginalization, underestimation, abuse, and really came through, embraced herself, embraced her experiences, and shined through. So that's why I like her song.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh!
We'll have to definitely check that out.
Started. Well, I love
What about
sci-fi.
TV shows? What are you watching?
And
What should I watch?
I've watched Fringe. I've watched Battlestar Galactica. And
Okay.
I've watched Westworld. But now I'm actually just starting to watch a new show by what's his name? It's called I Know This Much Is True. It's by Mark Ruffalo. And what I actually, so it's the kind of stuff that I usually avoid watching because it's too real for me. But it really sucks you in. It's about twin brothers, and one of them has schizophrenia.
Oh.
And one of my brothers actually has schizophrenia, and so a lot of what happens in the show kind of reminds me of those days in my childhood where where I lived with my brother with this condition, and I still take care of my brother, but I feel like that show really sheds the light on the mental health care system, and really teaches us to do better by people who've been affected.
Obviously, but something that you do that you're good at that people doesn't know. Maybe you play piano, you sing awesome in the shower, or you're a great cook. Maybe you were a professional soccer player in your past life. Just some hidden secret or talent you can share with the folks.
Before that, I did find the song. The song is called "Rise Up" by Andra Day. Yeah, by Andra Day. It's my favorite song. It's a great song. So something you don't know about me, I guess I do have, I have quite a bit of talent in broderies and henna design, and those things that I've learned as a child, in case I lost my parents and didn't have anybody to take care of me, I would be able to make a living. So I learned broderies when I was like 5 years old, and learned to do henna designs and stuff.
Okay.
Other things I did play ping pong competitively as an adolescent. Wow. And that was really fun.
Really, I'm a ping pong champ. We have to play.
And I do make badass Moroccan tea.
We have to set this up. Yeah. The people want to see this. And I hope you make it to Congress. You have my support.
Yeah, we are gonna really need to get our forces together here. We have 100 days left. We need to reach out to people, so we need volunteers. You can go to my website at ihssane.org. It's IHSSANE.org, and volunteer and also donate. We don't take any money from corporate PACs or corporate lobbyists, and that means we rely on your small dollar, big dollar, as long as you've we clear your occupation. We're very good at sifting through people and making sure that it's honorable money. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't want no mobster coming on there and doing that in $500,000.
Well, they
right,
can't.
that's a cap, right? That's a cap to what's the cap? What's it like?
The cap is $2,800 per individual. But you gotta, when people donate small dollar, especially if they make it monthly, it
Okay.
really adds up, and it's a sustainer and it's good. But those who have been blessed and, live economically comfortably and want to help close the income, the wealth gap, they can give a lot. If they can give a lot, they should give a
It'd be
lot.
nice to have Jeff Bezos just give a lot, right?
I don't know if I want his money. No, thank you.
Okay, we staying away, Jeff. But you can call me Jeff. I'll take it. I'm not running. I'm open. Ihssane doesn't want it. I'll take it. But Ihssane, listen, it's a pleasure. I appreciate it so much that you took your time out to join us and talk to us today. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was Ihssane Leckey, congressional candidate out of Massachusetts. Big thank you to her for stopping by and talking to us on the show. Thanks to Caddy and the whole team for making that happen. You can find her ihssane.org. That's Ihssane.org. She's online. Find her. Take a look at her platform. Take a look at the issues that she's behind. I'm pretty sure you'll like what she stands for. So go ahead and donate money. Help this candidate. They don't have super PAC money. They don't have corporation money. They count on people like you and I to get out there to support them. Doesn't matter if they're in your state or not. Does the donation help, the support help, the volunteer help? So you go ahead and do what you can and help them out. Again, you can go to the website, ihssane.org, ihssane.org, and see what you can do and how you can be helpful to the team. All right. Once again, thanks to Ihssane for stopping by. We truly do appreciate it.
You've been listening to the Point Noted Podcast with Johnny B and Rashad B. Follow us on Twitter @PTNoted and Instagram @PointNoted. Hit the subscribe and follow button to follow us and check out more episodes of us talking a whole bunch of shit. You've been noted.